Okay, Cancer, this is going to be your April monthly reading. I'm going to do a simple cross reading and then a couple of anchor cards for you at the end. Okay, so for the month, you're going to be represented by the King of Pentacles. So it's a great energy of really having control and provision over your practical environment. Your crossing energy is going to be the Tower, though. So I think something about your ideas about how you have that control or how you have that mastery is going to be challenged, either in a practical way, or it could be just your understanding of how much mastery and control you think you have over those things could be challenged. And usually for a Tower situation, it's going to be in a way that you really lack the control on, which is what makes me think that that's even more so going to be something that is how you perceive it. Your focus for the month is going to be the Sun card. So you're going after what is generative and joyful for you, which is a great focus to have. Your unconscious energy is going to be the Three of Swords. So there's something about that Sun being your focus that makes me think that this subconscious Three of Swords is a hurt that you're not quite able to put your finger on, as far as how it's something that's lingering underneath and you can't quite pinpoint either what the feelings are about or what the feeling is that's coming, especially when you're focusing on this Sun energy and pursuing what is joyful to you. It could be that you're doing that so consciously, and so you're so focused in that way that you might be trying to sweep away the things that aren't that. Even though you might have like some things bubbling up in that unconscious feeling level that are little seeds that are starting, but with that Sun feeling, you're really focusing on the good parts, which isn't necessarily bad, but I think with that 3, you need to watch out for be curious about if any kind of little whispers of feelings that you don't want to suppress so that they overflow, but just observe them, let them happen. Your recent past energy is the Knight of Pentacles. So that's definitely, there is something about your King energy that you've been building and you've been successful in building in a really big way recently. So this could be something, job related. This could be something living situation related. Maybe you just finished a project in your home or finished a project at work. So that's what's pushing you into this King feeling. But there's something about it that you don't quite know all the information about, or you have maybe a little bit of a misguided view on how much mastery you really have about it. So that your upcoming energy is going to be the Four of Pentacles. So something about what this Tower is going to reveal to you is going to show you that you're really attached to a part of this project or this thing that you worked on, and you thought was done. That is the part that's holding you back from staying in that king energy. Is there's something that you're really grabbing tight to that might need to shift or change, or just be more flexible about how this is accomplished. That's really going to get upset from outside of you. Your attitude toward the situation is going to be the Ten of Pentacles. So whatever this project or thing you're working on is, has a really strong link to how you envision your ideal scenario, your ideal either life path or your ideal way of doing the thing. So there's something that's linked more to not just what I want to do right now, but how you want to do things overall. How you want to show up in this type of situation long term is what you're thinking about, really. The attitude around you or surrounding you is going to be the Five of Cups. So there's some emotions outside of you that might be triggering this Three of Swords in your subconscious, where someone around you is really focusing on some losses or is not processing some emotions in a really healthy way. They might be a little stuck in what they're dwelling on, and that is kind of seeping in to as maybe just a distraction, or maybe starting to build something in you that you haven't quite recognized yet. So I would say with that attitude surrounding you, maybe just do a little check-in of, with all this being pretty practical, what this project that you're working on, are you leaving behind some of the emotional aspects that you haven't considered yet? And maybe that has something to do with another perspective that you need to be looking at in the scenario. Even if it is about, how other people see the project, it's information that might be integral to how you keep it sustainable and keep it moving forward. Then we're going to go your hopes and fears. In this card, you've got the Hermit. So I could see this being sort of a 50-50 of a hope and a fear. That a hope being that what you're focused on is your ideal scenario. So something about that is coming about because you're really diving deep into what is generative for you with the sun, what is at the core of who you are. And through the Hermit, you're investigating that. You are learning more and more about that as you continue this pursuit. But it also could be a bit of a fear if you have these dwelling on the past kind of emotions around you and people around you, that you might feel a little bit lonely and a little bit separate with what you're pursuing, and that might be a little bit of a fear that is there ever going to be someone that recognizes alongside of me? So I would lean into with that Hermit card, the hope side of being investigative about what is your true set of values of what this thing that you're pursuing, and really making that as clear as possible, so that you have that template that you're working towards and continuing to develop as you continue to investigate your inner world and your inner life. That will help you address any of these like Three of Sword, maybe things that are dwelling that you haven't quite investigated yet too. And then for your potential outcome, we've got the Queen of Pentacles. So it looks like through the month, you're going to be able to move back into more of an elevated position in this pursuit that you have, this practical thing that you're working on. But it's going to tend to be with the tower situation that's going to happen. You're going to have to turn more inward on how you are providing for yourself in this situation, and be less focused on how you're showing everyone that you have this figured out and you have this done in a mastery sort of way. This is going to be by the end of the month, you're going to be in a point of like, okay, but what do I need to balance myself in this situation? How do I need to provide the layout for me that's going to work the best after you go through this Four of Pentacles sort of contraction level of thinking that you have to be over attached to keep the things that you want. You're going to have a more expansive view of that by the end of the month with the Queen, and be able to have the resources surrounding you that you need and know where to put them to be generative to yourself. Do the bottom of the deck just to see another information about that potential outcome. Got the Four of Swords, so really that's a beautiful thing to see after this 3, that you are going to have rest and comfort after this 3 of Swords, maybe in that underlying level through your hermit work. You're going to be able to have some peace of mind on how you are feeling, that you might not know what the feelings are yet. I'm just going to do 3 more cards as anchors for you that you can remember throughout the month as your teachers. Okay, so we've got the Alchemy, which is Temperance, the 2 of Water, and the 7 of Water, which are the 2 and 7 of Cups. So I think with this Temperance and Cup cards, we're really looking at keeping in mind this the surrounding attitudes for you, and what kind of mirroring you're doing in those areas, what kind of acknowledgement and what kind of level of the emotionality of others you might be bringing into your sphere, and what might be with the Temperance card, what might be affecting the kind of tools you have to use, and what might be more possible or less possible based on what the perceptions around you are, and that you have the ability to shift and change that as long as you're being present with what those energies are around you. So not putting your head down, shutting out the world, and trying to make your thing happen despite all what everybody else feels. But this is actually really asking you to ride the wave of what's happening energetically around you, and really work with those influences and see if they can help you move forward by being able to acknowledge how they help and how they hurt and how you need to work with them.